So, there's messaging for you right there. About a week ago, I did a video on a few guitars that we have, starting with this one, which is a 1840 Martin. Now, you have to put yourself into that place in 1840. Guitars were just becoming very hip. Wealthy people with prestige would get their photographs painted holding a guitar because it was hip. It remains that way 180 years later. Guitars are hip, and Martin is the hippest acoustic. Remember, we invented country music. We invented blues. We invented jazz. We invented rock and roll. We didn't invent folk music. That comes from the folks in the different country, but we made it big. And Bob Dylan in this town is one of the biggest pinnacles of that art form. So, here's part one of a video we did talking about some of these early Martins. And I'll leave you with that. Hi everybody. This video might be a little long, so I'll warn you, it'll be a little long. Maybe I'll do it in 2 parts. Who knows? All right, time's almost up. Here we go. So, let's talk about collectibles. Collectibles. There's people that we deal with every day that collect stamps, comic books. Personally, I collect portable polyphonic musical instruments. I know, right? There's people that collect toys, and these are cool. You can't do much with them, but they're fun to look at. I have this. It's a camera. I think it's cool. It takes 35mm film. It really does nothing but set the eye on a camera. It's just beautiful to behold. Industrial art. Industrial art relates to guitars too. If you look at our guitar history, that's a cool piece of industrial art. It's also, as a collectible, something that famous people played. But one of the most important pieces of American history is Martin acoustic guitars. We invented folk, we invented rock, we invented jazz, we invented blues. And Martin Guitars is a family-owned company. To this day, a Martin owns Martin's guitars. So we're lucky enough to get some of these significantly historic guitars. This guitar I have right here, Martin started in 1833. This one was made in 1840. Ponder this. This is what they call a coffin case. Martin Guitars made their own cases in this point. Later, of course, they went to the luggage industry to get cases made. But this is a guitar from 1840. This was probably made by C.F. Martin himself, as they only made a guitar every couple of weeks. Ponder this. A steam engine wasn't invented here in the States. It was just invented. It took another 50 years for there to be tracks laid across the entire continent. The electric light bulb was 50 years from getting invented. The zipper wasn't invented. People had to go home because it was going to turn dark. Oh, here's another collectible. I collect watches. This is what you might call functional art. And this is a Navitimer. Do I need to use this to guesstimate my fuel usage in my airplane? I don't think so. But I might, so I like having it. These, however, are functional. These are functional pieces of art. You'll find these guitars are quiet and soft. This was made in 1840. No steam engines. The gas-powered engines were 100 years away or so. So everything wasn't so noisy. You know what I'm saying? Things were calm and peaceful. You could see the stars. This is a piece of American history. I'm going to read you something the previous owner wrote about this. On a historical level, this is not only an amazing condition, and it really is, it reflects most of the interesting aspects of Martin's earliest guitars. These include the shape of the ivory tuners and the intricate tuning mechanisms. It has this ice cream cone heel on the back. And then if you look back here, and I don't know if the camera can catch it, but you can see the Martin stamp. Now here's something for all you collectors if you ever find one of these. For one, it is an ice cream cone heel. The neck, the headstock is placed on. This is in 2 parts. It wasn't a repair. This is factory original. And then this stamp here says Martin, C.F. Martin. In 1867, it became C.F. Martin and Company. So this was just Martin and not his partners. It wasn't until just after the Civil War in 1865 that it would say C.F. Martin and Company. So these earlier guitars can be identified. Look at this little detail here too. There's just this little thing that sticks in the guitar. And what's this for? So when you set it down, like, that is really cool. We're not sure what type of wood this is. They had almost always used Brazilian rosewood, but I suspect this is some sort of cypress or something, and it's hard to say what kind of neck, probably a cedar neck. But this guitar is all original except the bridge and a few cracks. This is an amazing piece of history made likely by the man himself within the first decade of Martin's existence. The label reads C.F. Martin, New York. They were called New York Martins all the way up to the 1800s. This is a significant piece of American history, and you can play it, and they generally rise in value. It's nearly impossible to find a 170-year-old guitar in this condition. Think of it. Even violins, it's so hard to find things in this good a shape.